In chapter 6, module 2, we shall learn about geodesic on a surface. Now, what is geodesic? Now, if we consider 2 points on a surface and if we join them with various curves, then the shortest curve, that is the curve which has minimum length, is called geodesic. In this module, we shall obtain or derive the differential equations of geodesic and we shall see various examples. Now, in this module, we are trying to find the definition of geodesic on a surface and its differential equation. So, let C be a curve given by C colon u alpha equals to u alpha t. That means, alpha is varying from 1 and 2. So, u 1 t and u 2 t is a curve on the surface, and the length of the curve between the points P and Q on it will be given by S equals to integration of from P to Q root over A alpha beta u dot alpha u dot beta dt. This expression we have obtained earlier. This is the expression for arc length, and here it is the formula for arc length on a surface. Now, such a curve is called the arc length joining P and Q, because the integration has been done between P and Q. Let C bar be any other curve in the neighborhood of C joining P and Q, and it is given by u bar alpha t plus epsilon omega alpha t. So, a little bit of change has been done to the equation of the curve, and it is given by this form, where omega alpha is a function of t such that omega alpha equals to 0 at P and Q. That means, at end points P and Q, the value of omega alpha equals to 0. That means, C and C bar will coincide at the point P and Q, and epsilon is a small number of infinitesimal order. So, arc length between P and Q with respect to the curve C bar is given by S bar equals to integration P to Q root over A alpha beta u bar dot alpha u bar dot beta dt. Let us consider the integral I equals to P to Q phi u alpha and u dot alpha dt. So, we are considering the integrand with two variables u alpha and u dot alpha. Then I bar will be integration of P to Q phi u bar alpha u bar dot alpha dt. Now, if we express the value of u bar alpha and u bar dot alpha, this becomes phi u alpha plus epsilon omega alpha plus u dot alpha plus epsilon omega dot alpha dt, the integration between P and Q. Now, using Taylor's theorem for function of two variables, we have I bar equals to this expression, integration p to q phi u alpha u dot alpha dt plus epsilon p to q omega alpha del phi del u alpha plus omega dot alpha del phi del u dot alpha dt. And here the higher order terms has been neglected, because they are very small quantity, we are neglecting the higher order terms. Thus, increment I bar minus I can be written as this form, epsilon p to q integration omega alpha del phi del u alpha plus omega dot alpha del phi del u dot alpha dt. And just if we break the bracket, we are getting this term. Now, integrating by parts to the second term, we get this term. After simplification a little bit, we are getting this one, epsilon integration p to q del phi del u alpha minus d dt of del phi del u dot alpha omega alpha dt. Now, if C will be geodesic, then the increment must be 0, because it is the shortest one. So, for the shortest one the increment must be 0, and thus we get the integrand is equal to 0, that is del phi del u alpha minus d dt of del phi del u dot alpha equals to 0. Now, this equation has a great importance in mechanics also, and it is called Euler-Lagrange's equation or Euler's equation or Lagrange's equation. This is the equation in partial derivatives of phi del phi del u alpha minus d dt of del phi del u dot alpha equal to 0. Now, in our case, if we consider phi equals to root over a beta gamma u dot beta u dot gamma, we are considering the function phi, this one root over a beta gamma u dot beta u dot gamma. Now, if we find the partial derivative of phi with respect to u alpha, we get del phi del u alpha equals to 1 by 2 phi del a beta gamma del u alpha u dot beta u dot gamma. And if we find the partial derivative of phi with respect to u dot alpha, we shall get 1 by 2 phi del del u dot alpha a beta gamma u dot beta u dot gamma. So, taking the partial derivative of the right hand side, we get the following expression, and which comes to this form, that 1 by 2 phi a alpha gamma u dot gamma plus a beta alpha u dot beta. Now, changing the dummy index gamma by beta in the first term of right hand side, we get 1 by 2 phi to a alpha beta u dot beta. So, the expression del phi del u dot alpha is coming by 1 by phi a alpha beta u dot beta. Now, we find the expression d dt of del phi del u alpha, and which is coming to this expression. Simplifying this one, we get this expression. Now, substituting these values in the Euler-Lagrange's equation, we get this expression A alpha beta u double dot beta plus Christoffel symbol beta gamma comma alpha u dot gamma u dot beta equals to 1 by phi d phi dt A alpha beta u dot beta. Where beta gamma comma alpha, the Christoffel symbol of first kind, is equal to 1 by 2 del A alpha beta del u gamma plus del A alpha gamma by del u beta minus del A gamma beta by del u alpha. Now, taking the inner product with A rho alpha in the above equation, we get this expression u double dot beta plus gamma rho beta gamma u dot beta equals to 1 by phi d phi dt u dot rho. So, this is the equation of geodesic on a surface with t as a parameter. Equation number 4 is the equation of geodesic when the parameter is t, but if s is the parameter, so replacing t by s, that means ds dt equals to 1, and also ds dt is root over A alpha beta u dot beta, and that is equal to phi is given by phi equals to 1, that means d phi dt equals to 0. So, right hand side of 4 becomes 0 when s equal to t, or t is replaced by s. In that case, the equation 4 reduces to this form d2 u beta ds2 plus gamma rho beta gamma del du beta by dt du gamma by dt equals to 0, which is the differential equation of geodesic when s is the parameter. Now, on Euclidean space, all the Christoffel symbols of second kind vanishes. So, from equation 5 we get d2 u rho ds2 equal to 0, which is nothing but the equation of a straight line. So, for Cartesian coordinate system on E3, the geodesics are straight line. Now, let us consider this example, and we are trying to find the differential equation of geodesic for the surface x1 equal to u cos v, x2 equal to u sin v, and x3 equal to c v. That means, we are trying to find the differential equation of geodesic for a helicoid. Now, we can also denote this equation in this form r equals to u cos v, u sin v, C v. So, r u, that is the partial derivative of r with respect to u, is this one cos v, sin v 0, and r v is minus u sin v, u cos v, and C. So, r u square is 1, that means r u dot r u, r v square is u square plus c square, and r u r v is equal to 0. So, the metric on helicoid in vector form can be expressed as d s square equal to r u square d u square plus 2 r u dot r v d u d v plus r v square d v square. That means, A 11 is equal to r u, A 12 equals to r u dot r v, and A 22 is r v. So, the expression is coming to d s square equal to d u square plus u square plus c square d v square. Hence, the only non-zero Christoffel symbols are gamma 1 2 2 equals to minus u, gamma 2 1 2 equals to gamma 2 2 1 equals to u by u square plus c square. Hence, the differential equation of geodesic on a helicoid are given by dtu ds2 plus gamma 1 2 2 dv ds dv ds, that means dv ds square equal to 0. That means, dtu ds2 minus u dv ds whole square equal to 0. And the second equation is coming to this form d2v ds2 plus gamma 2 1 2 du ds dv ds plus gamma 2 2 1 dv ds du ds equals to 0. That means, d2v ds2 plus 2 gamma 2 1 2 du ds dv ds equal to 0. Now, putting the value of gamma 2 1 2, we are getting d2v ds2 plus 2 u by u square plus c square du ds dv ds equal to 0. So, these are the two differential equations of geodesic for a helicoid, and if we solve these differential equations, we can get the geodesics. So, in module 2 of chapter 6, we have learnt about the geodesic on a surface, which is the shortest distance between 2 points on a surface, and we have obtained the differential equation of the geodesics. And if we solve these differential equations, we can get the ultimate geodesic. And we have seen earlier that in an Euclidean space, the geodesic is a straight line. So, on a plane also we know that geodesic is a straight line, which we have obtained in the differential equation. So, in chapter 6, in module 1 and module 2, we have learnt about the surfaces, their first fundamental form, the angle between two curves on a surface, and the equation of geodesic on a surface, which are all intrinsic properties of the surface. With this, we end this chapter 6.